What if I told you that 7 countries quietly shape much of the global economy, diplomacy, and even your future? Welcome to the world of the G7, the Group of 7, one of the most powerful clubs in the world. But how did it begin? Who are the members? And what do they actually do behind those closed doors? Let's find out. The G7 was born out of economic chaos. In the 1970s, the world faced a major oil crisis, inflation, and recession. Leaders of the world's most industrialized economies realized they needed a place to coordinate economic policies, away from rigid formal institutions like the United Nations or IMF. In 1975, leaders from 6 nations, the United States, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan, gathered in Rambouillet, France. This was the first G6 summit. The very next year, Canada joined, making it the G7 we know today. Later in 1998, Russia joined temporarily, creating the G8. But in 2014, following the annexation of Crimea, Russia was expelled and the group returned to being the G7. So, who are the G7 countries today? Here's the lineup. First, the United States, the world's largest economy and global superpower. Then there's Canada, a resource-rich, advanced economy and North American ally. The United Kingdom follows, with major financial and historical global influence. France comes next, a nuclear power and European diplomatic force. Germany is in there too, as Europe's economic engine. Italy, a founding EU member with a significant industrial base. And finally Japan, Asia's most developed democracy and innovation hub. Together, the G7 countries represent over 40% of global GDP, even though they make up less than 10% of the world's population. That's power. The G7 isn't a treaty or an institution like the United Nations. It's actually a forum for coordination and dialogue among powerful democracies. The main focus? Global economic stability. But, in recent years it's really expanded. Key focus areas now include things like climate change and sustainability, global health, especially during COVID-19, development and aid, cybersecurity and technology governance, geopolitical conflicts like Ukraine or Middle East crises, and even taxation and corporate regulations. Every year, the presidency rotates between countries, and the host nation sets the agenda, invites guests, and organizes all those ministerial meetings. So why should you care? The G7 makes decisions that ripple across the world, even into your daily life. For example, they influence global tax rates for corporations like Apple and Google. They help decide how much funding poor nations get to fight climate change. During COVID-19, the G7 coordinated billions in vaccine donations. On the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the G7 imposed some pretty severe sanctions, and while it's often criticized for being exclusive or elite, it still plays a central role in Western diplomacy. But the G7 isn't without criticism. Many people ask, why aren't rising powers like India, Brazil, or South Africa included? Is it really fair for 7 countries to steer policies that affect 8 billion people? In response, newer groups like the G20, which includes China, India, and others, have emerged. But the G7 still holds influence, especially when it comes to democratic alignment and strategic unity. This year, as the G7 meets in Canada, topics include artificial intelligence, global security, climate transitions, and the ongoing global cost of living crisis. So next time you hear about a G7 summit, know it's more than just photo ops. It's where global power brokers align or clash on how the world should move forward. Let me know in the comments. Should countries like India be in the G7? Hit like if you learned something new, and don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns on global affairs.